Hello and welcome to UKGN Network, I'm Zoidberg and here's our top 5 games of June 2017. I think it's safe to say that there's no such thing as a summer slump anymore, as once again there have been plenty of new games released to save us from the dangers of direct sunlight. Rather than go outside and let our skin burn, we've spent this month safely camped in front of our TV, assessing the latest releases and watching the announcements roll in from this year's E3. Our favourites are listed over on our Facebook page. In addition to all the good games released, it's been a month of disappointments too, with a couple of eagerly awaited sequels forgetting what made their originals so good in the first place. We're looking at you, Micro Machines and Valkyria Revolution. As before, we only include complete brand new games and compilations in our countdown, so don't expect to see games that have been recently available on another system in the following top 5, or those unfinished titles that are still in early access or open beta.
Number 5.
After last month's Injustice 2 set a new standard for fighting games, it's slightly disappointing that Tekken 7 offers a bare bones package with only a story mode and a small selection of play modes. There isn't even a survival mode. Fortunately, it's still Tekken, and even below par Tekken is still one of the most playable and enjoyable fighting games around. Let's not forget arguably the greatest cast of characters too. Whether you're a fan of Paul, Kazuya, Law or Yoshimitsu, picking up the controller and launching into combat is just as good as you remember. And it now looks even better thanks to the Unreal Engine. The big new addition this time around are rage moves, which give you a devastating attack to use if your health drops below a certain level. In the wrong hands these could have been game ruiners, but thankfully Namco know what they're doing, and you still need good reactions and skill to use them properly on higher difficulties or in online ranked matches.
Number 4.
Dirt 4 is a game with a bit of an identity crisis. On the one hand, it wants to be the sequel to the superb Dirt Rally, with its demanding rally stages and tough simulation handling. Yet on the other, it wants to be the follow-up to Dirt 3, with score challenges, arcade handling and buggy racing. While the two sides never really gel, taken individually, each discipline is excellent, offering different types of fun for the racing game fan. Once again, having a practice area to explore and get to grips with your car is an incredibly welcome addition, and we had great fun perfecting our handbrake turns and smashing through boxes. There's something about a Codemasters rally game that no other developer has come close to, and it's in part down to the superb sound design. It's entirely possible that you could play this game with your eyes shut and still know exactly what's going on with your car. We don't recommend doing so, as you'd miss out on one of the best looking racing games around too. A new version of Grid next please, Codemasters.
Number 3.
As we all know, Nintendo do things a little differently. When they make an online shooter, they produce Splatoon, a game where you're not meant to kill your opponent, just cover it everywhere in paint. We know about their approach to driving games thanks to Mario Kart, and now we have ARMS, which is what happens when they turn their attention to the beat-em-up. This is a game where its cartoon cast of characters, with their bungee cord appendages, hurl fists at each other from distance. Think of a cross between Punch-Out and Virtual On and you're halfway there. It's as non-violent as it's possible for a fighting game to be, but thankfully also tremendous fun and surprisingly deep once you get used to how it plays. Pre-release hype has emphasised the motion controls, where you can play with a Joy-Con in each hand and punch away at the screen. But for us, a controller was the best way to play. As you'd expect, being a Nintendo game, the presentation is fantastic throughout, from the superb animation and arenas to the music which you'll be humming for days afterwards.
Number 2.
With Wipeout narrowly missing out on the top 5, the second great compilation to hit PS4 this month features Crash Bandicoot, who, before he was relegated to a mere cameo appearance in last year's Skylanders, was a mascot the PlayStation could be proud of. The Insane trilogy is a reminder of just how good the first games were. Crash's first 3 adventures have been lovingly recreated with a gorgeous 1080p makeover that manages to retain all the charm of the originals, and Vicarious Visions should be commended for presenting the gameplay warts and all. Some of the design decisions made back in the 90s would be frowned upon today, and the temptation must have been there to try and fix them. but these games are all just as good as you remember them and well worth revisiting. Especially Crash 3, which is still one of the best 3D platformers ever made. The only disappointment in the whole package is that they didn't see fit to include Crash Team Racing as well, but maybe that's been saved for another time. We can only hope.
Number 1.
Secret human saved.
As anyone who has played Resogun or Super Stardust will tell you, Finnish developer Housemarque have a knack of making blistering arcade games. Next Machina, or Next Machina, however you want to pronounce it, could be their best game yet. It's an incredibly challenging twin-stick shooter that channels the spirit of classic 80s arcades, thanks to the input of Eugene Jarvis, the brains behind Robotron and Smash TV. This is a game that outright recommends you play it on rookie difficulty first to learn the various systems, and it does help, as there are dozens of secret ways to boost your score multiplier that you'd miss otherwise. These encourage you to experiment with a more risky style of play, running headlong into the waves of enemies in pursuit of a new power-up or a stricken human. You could simply hold back, clear the screen of enemies and move on to the next, but your score won't be troubling the leaderboards if you do. And what's an arcade game without the bragging rights of an impressively high score? This is my personal choice for the best game of 2017 so far. That wraps up another Top 5 countdown, and we're halfway through 2017 already. Let us know what you think in the comments. What games should we have included instead? Come back next month for more of the same, and let's see if July can keep up the high quality. We are UK Gaming Network. Like and subscribe for more great videos like this one. Thanks for watching.
All humans saved.